didn't catch you there. I'm Michael from Michael.青蛙World. Since you dropped by, I guess I'll read you The Frog Prince continued. Have you ever heard The Princess and the Frog Prince? Well, at the end of the story, it says, the princess kissed the frog. He turned into a prince, and they lived happily ever after. Wow. Let's just say they lived sort of happily for a long time. Okay, I gotta tell the truth. So they weren't happy. In fact, they were miserable. Stop sticking your tongue out like that, nagged the princess. How come you never want to go down to the pond anymore? whined the princess. The prince and the princess were so unhappy they didn't know what to do. Here's the picture, and in the original book, I can't tell if I'm pointing to the roses or not, they are alive. The roses are alive. But in this book, they are dead. See? I guess it's because of the smack. I would prefer that you not hop around on the furniture, said the princess, and I might be nice if you go out the castle once. I'm asking you only once in a while to slay a dragon or giant or whatever. The prince didn't feel like going out and slaying anything. He just felt like running away. But then he read his book, and it said right there at the end of his story, they lived happily ever after. The end. So he stayed in his castle and drove the princess crazy. Then one day, the princess threw a perfectly awful fit. First, you keep me awake all night. No rest. With your horrible croaking snore. I'd even sleep with 12 cows if I didn't need to sleep with you. Now, I found a lily pad in your pocket. I can't believe I actually kissed your slimy frog lips. Sometimes I think we'd both be better off if you were still a frog. Ribbit, 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 ribbit. And that's when the idea hit him. The prince thought, still a frog. Yes, that's it. And he ran off into the forest looking for a witch who can turn him back into a frog. Here. The prince hadn't gone far when he ran into just the person he was looking for. Miss Wish, excuse me, Miss Wish. I wonder if you could help me. Say, you're not looking for a princess to kiss, are you? Asked the witch. Oh no, I already been kissed. I'm the frog prince. Actually, I was hoping you could turn me back into a frog. Are you sure you're not looking for a beautiful sleeping princess to kiss and wake up? No, I'm the Frog Prince. That's funny, you don't look like a frog. Well, no matter. If you're a prince, you're a prince. And I'll have to cast a nasty spell on you. I can't have any princess waking up the Sleeping Beauty before the 100 years are up. The prince didn't stick around to see which nasty spell the witch had in mind. He ran deeper into the forest until he came to a tiny cottage where he saw another lady who might help him. Miss Witch, excuse me, Miss Witch. I wonder if you can help me. I'm a prince and, what did you say? Prince? Croaked the witch. Yes. No. I'm not the prince looking for the Sleeping Beauty, but yes. I'm Frog Prince, and I'm looking for a member of your profession who can turn me back into a frog so I can live happily ever after. Frog Prince, you say? That's funny. I thought frogs were little green guys with webbed feet. Well, no matter. If you're a prince, you're a prince. And I can't have any princess rescuing Snow White. Here, eat the rest of this apple. The prince, who knew his fairy tales and knew a poison apple when he saw one, didn't even say no thank you. He turned and ran deeper into the forest. Soon he came to a strange-looking house with woods inside. Ahem, Miss Witch. Excuse me, Miss Witch. I wonder if you could help me. I'm the frog. If you're a frog, I'm the king of France, said the witch. No, I'm not a frog. I'm the Frog Prince, but I need a witch to turn me back into a frog so I can live happily ever after. Can you do it? Said the prince. In one long breath, the witch eyed the prince and licked her rather plump lips. Why, of course, dearie. Come right in. Maybe I can fit you in for once. The prince stopped on the slightly gummy steps. Something about this house seemed very familiar. He broke off a corner of the windowsill and tasted it. Gingerbread. I hope you don't mind my asking, Miss Woods, but do you happen to know any children by the name of Hansel and Gretel? Why, yes, Prince darling, I do. I'm expecting them for dinner. The prince, who, as we said before, knew his fairy tales and ran as fast as he could deeper into the forest. Soon, he was completely lost. He saw someone next to a tree. The prince walks up to her, hoping she wasn't a witch, for he'd quite had his fill of witches. Madame, I'm the Frog Prince. Could you help me? Gosh, you need it, said the fairy godmother. You're the worst-looking frog I ever seen. I'm not a frog, I'm the Frog Prince, said the prince, getting a little annoyed. And I need someone to turn me back into a frog so I can live happily ever after. Well, I'm on my way to see a girl in the village about going to a ball, but I suppose I could give it a try. Never done frogs before, you know? And with the fairy godmother, waved her magic wand and turned the prince into a beautiful carrot. The prince couldn't believe his rotten luck. And the sun went down, the forest got spookier, and the prince became more and more frightened. Oh, what an idiot I've been. I could be sitting home with the princess, living happily ever after, but instead I'm stuck here in the middle of the stupid forest, turned into a stupid carrot. Now I'll probably just rot and fall apart and live unhappily ever after. The prince thought these terrible, frightening kinds of thoughts, and a few words too awful to tell, until far away in the village, the clock struck midnight. The carriage instantly turned back into his former prince self and ran by the light of the moon until he was safe inside his own castle. Where have you been? I've been worried sick. You were 7 hours late. Your dinner is cold. Your clothes are a mess. The prince looked at the princess who had believed him when no one else in the world had. The princess who had actually kissed his slimy frog lips. The princess who loved him. The prince kissed the princess this time. They both turned into frogs, and they lived and they hopped happily ever after. The end. Here's the picture. Hope you enjoyed today's book. Bye!